Welcome to the Chris Hatcher Show, presented by Alabama 811. I'm your host, Kevin Blackwell, and of course each week I'm joined by Samford head football coach Chris Hatcher. On a rainy homecoming at Samford this past Saturday, the Bulldogs overcame a first-half deficit to defeat the VMI Keydets 34-15. With the win, Samford moves to 8-1 on the season, 6-0 in league play. And with the win, Coach Hatcher moves ahead of Pat Sullivan as the winningest coach in Samford football history. Coach, first of all, congratulations on the big conference win. I know for you that's the most important thing, but also congratulations on your 48th win and really breaking that record, Coach Sullivan's record, someone that you care very much about and someone that has had a big impact on you, I know personally.
Well, thank you, so much. Going into the season, it was on my radar that, in striking distance of a milestone. And but the biggest motivation was to be able to break the record this year meant we had to have a really good season. And, I tell people all the time, Coach Sullivan was very instrumental in me, following him as the coach. He loved Samford a whole lot, really liked what we were doing. I still talk to his wife, Miss Jean, on occasion, and she sent some well wishes after the game, so that was very special. But more importantly, I haven't played a game since 1994, okay? So we've had really good coaches, we've had really good players that are currently on the team in years prior to this. So those are the guys that deserve the credit. But again, it was nice to get it at home, but more importantly, the motivation was to continue to win Southern Conference game. The win over VMI was a really big one for our football team.
It certainly was. And speaking of that, as we reflect on the game this past Saturday, VMI didn't come out in the first half playing like a team that had only won one game. I thought their effort was great. We knew that they were a tough matchup for us on defense as well. The weather conditions wasn't ideal. All that, I think, maybe added up to the halftime deficit, 12-7 as you went in. I mean, your thoughts on the first half?
I didn't really think we were in the right state of mind going into the game. I didn't think we had a really good practice, and I think if you ask all our players, they would tell you exactly the same thing. I don't know if it was a little fatigue from the two previous long road trips, and they were long road trips back-to-back. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe guys looking ahead or not giving VMI the respect they deserve with the record they came in with. But, after that first half that VMI put on us, they out-hit us, they out-hustled us. They came in ready to play. They had a great game plan. All of a sudden, our guys, their antennas went up, and fortunately for us, we found our groove in the second half and came away with a big win.
Now, you've told me before you're not a big halftime rah-rah kind of guy, but what were your comments to the team at half? Because obviously something worked.
Well, I don't know if it had anything to do with my halftime speech, but it was uncharacteristic of me the way I talked to our team at halftime, but to their credit, they responded and they came out and made plays, and on top of that, I thought that our coaches, including myself, we coached a lot better in the second half than we did in the first half as well. It was a whole team wasn't ready to play. And, sometimes, unfortunately, that happens to you. But luckily for us, we woke up in time.
Well, you did. And you knew we had the ball coming out the second half. You just kind of felt like we needed something good to happen, particularly on that opening drive. And we had something good happen on that opening drive.
We did. It was a play we had missed on earlier in the game to the other side to J.R. Tranrino, and Mike, throws a great ball to Chandler Smith. Their safety took a bad angle. We go in there and we score, and then the next series, Noah Martin gets an interception. So I'm thinking, all right, man, here we go, and then darn if we don't throw an interception in the end zone. But I thought the second half, our defense, instead of getting knocked back for that extra yard, we were knocking them back. We forced some big turnovers, and then offensively, we finally got things going.
Yeah, and Kendall's catch was incredible there. Also in the third quarter, I thought that was a huge play, 70-yard touchdown pass for Michael Hires. But man, I thought Michael, the touch he had on the ball Saturday, particularly in bad weather conditions, was some of the best I've seen all year.
When we recruited Mike, that was one of the things that really stood out, that I thought he threw the deep ball extremely well. And then, we get here and early in the year, he's missing on those deep balls. But I think the continuity with our depth chart, our rotation at receivers helped him out a lot. And of course, all of our guys are playing at a high level, but Chandler and Kendall are, they're having phenomenal years up to this point.
Oh, they really are. And speaking of Michael Hires, he finishes the day 30 for 38, 322 yards with 4 touchdowns. And once again, he's named SoCon Offensive Player of the Week and leads the nation in completion percentage. That's an important metric in your offense, isn't it?
Well, it really is, because we like to throw the ball down the field. A lot of times defense doesn't give us those opportunities. So, we live on throwing the short ball and making yards after the catch, which our guys have done extremely well. But, we have keys to be successful that we hit with our team, our offensive unit, before every season during the preseason. And completion percentage for the quarterback is the #1 thing for us to be a good offense.
Well, Chandler Smith does have another good day, 10 catches, 134 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Coach, we've talked about the offensive line some this season, but I again want to bring them up because they've kept the pocket clean for the most part. They've made running lanes for Jalen and Jay, and I just think that their play this year has been a significant factor for us.
Oh, well, there's no question. I mean, if you win football games with your offensive line and defensive line, and both of those groups have really played at a high level. It all starts with those guys, and I think they've been playing really, really well up to this point.
No question about it. Well, the defense continues to impress. They kept their opponent out of the end zone for the 2nd straight week. Noah Martin with another impressive day, 9 tackles and an interception. Maybe the most important play, Coach, was Hakeem Johnson's interception there in the 4th quarter, which eventually gets the ball back to us, leads to a touchdown. That was a very significant play in the game.
Well, it was, and like you said, 2 weeks in a row, what have we've given up 6 field goals, right. And you can win doing that, and I was really proud of those guys. But I do think that sequence of events there, that Hakeem's interception, the offense taking it 89, 90-ish yards right there, that really, I think at that point, we had the game under control for the first time all afternoon.
Yeah, no question about it. Well, this Saturday, Samford is back on the road again for a huge conference matchup against the Mocs of UT Chattanooga. UTC comes into the game 7-2 overall, winning at the Citadel last week by 10 points on the road. Coach, this is a big game with conference championship implications, potentially playoff implications. UTC has been a team, frankly, that traditionally we've struggled with. We've lost 7 in a row against them in the series. And what do you see really as the key to success for us to be successful in Finley Stadium on Saturday?
Well, first of all, every week's a big game. And, I tell our team all the time, if you don't take care of the conference games early in the year, you're not in the position you are now. So, we have to be focused on being the best version of the Samford Bulldogs we can be this week, just like we did last week and the weeks leading up to that. But the big thing this week is we have to do a great job of controlling the line of scrimmage. That is going to be the #1 key for our success on Saturday. They're very athletic on their defensive front. Offensive line, they're very physical. They do what I say that we have to do to win. They run the ball and play great defense. We have to do the same, but up front, that's where the game's going to be won. It's won there every week, but this week more so than ever before.
Again, Samford at UTC. The kickoff is at 1:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Central at Finley Stadium there in Chattanooga. You can view the game on ESPN+. Coach, good luck in Chattanooga on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
And that'll do it for this edition of the Chris Hatcher Show, presented by Alabama 811.